Hi there, I'm Katie Wise. Welcome to Prenatal Yoga with Yo Mama. This DVD is designed to be safe in all trimesters. You are always welcome to adjust things, to change things, to modify poses to make them fit for your body at the different times of your pregnancy. I'm very honored to be practicing yoga with you today. I'm honored to be your teacher. And remember that your pregnancy is not just a countdown, it is a journey. And as your baby is growing, you are also transforming into a mother. And I am very honored to share that transformation with you and support you on your way. We're going to begin our class with a chant. And this chant means, I bow to the infinite, I bow to the teacher within. And the sounds are Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And this is just a way to take the whole of your day, whatever is led up to your yoga practice, and take a little break before you begin to tune into that higher wisdom. So rubbing the hands together, placing the hands right near the heart center, closing the eyes, going within, taking a nice deep breath, releasing that breath. And this next time we will begin the chant, Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. It's okay if you screw it up. We'll do it 3 times. Nice deep breath in. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And again. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And last time. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Good. Inhale, hold the breath. Exhale slowly and begin by placing your hands on your low tummy. You can also place one hand on the low back and one hand on the belly. And feel that expansion as you breathe in. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale. If your own breath feels like it's a different pace than mine, go ahead and follow that pace. So we sometimes call this womb breathing. So you want to really feel that expansion all the way down to your baby's home. In 3rd trimester, this gets a little harder, but you want to think of the diaphragm softening down and making as much space as possible down into the belly. And do about 3 to 5 breaths here, just aiming and focusing that breath down. Good, and then taking the hands to the rib cage, you're going to open up and expand and lift through the sides of the rib cage. Exhale. Good, and inhale, open. And exhale, and whatever feels better for the breathing, you can have your eyes closed or you can have them open, whatever feels right. So pranayama, which is what we're doing when we do breath practice, means life force. So you're bringing in prana, which is the energy that goes beyond the energy we get from sleep and food. So prana is the storehouse of energy when you are running low. When your baby's been up all night and you still have to get up and make breakfast, that is prana that gets you through. So we want to fill those storehouses of prana energy. Now taking the hands up to the upper chest, you're going to inhale. This should be a pretty easy place to breathe. So inhale, open. Exhale, soften. Inhale, open. Exhale, soften, doing about 3 to 5 breaths here as well. If you know Ujjayi breath, which is that slight constriction of the throat, like a whispered ha, you can add that to the breath. If you don't and you want to just keep it long, deep breath and simple, that's fine. Good, and release that. We're gonna now combine all three together. So we're gonna inhale belly first, and like you're filling up with water, then fill up the rib cage, and lastly, fill up the upper chest. All in one breath, and then exhale, chest, rib cage, low belly. And just go ahead and use those hands to guide you, following your own breath rhythm. You don't have to be right with me. As baby starts taking over from below, the lungs get a little bit more compressed, so your breath will get a little less deep. Then right near the end, baby will drop again and open up the lungs a little bit. Good. And now we're going to start to move the body with the breath. So you're going to take your hands right in the front and move the spine with the breath. So belly, solar plexus, upper chest looking up. Exhale, chest, solar plexus, low belly. Good. Inhale, belly, solar plexus, upper chest. Exhale, chest, solar plexus, low belly. I'll show this from the side as well. So inhaling belly first, solar plexus, upper chest, stretch that spine. Exhale, chest, solar plexus, and belly. Starting to take your baby on a little ride. Good. That's it. Doing great. And the goal throughout class is to keep your breath moving all the way down into the belly. So you will forget about it, and I will remind you. And then you can also set an intention for your class at this point, something you'd like to achieve for this class. It can be as simple as one word, breath or peace, or it can be an intention to connect with your baby, to let go of the past, anything at all. Good. And now we're going to take baby on another kind of ride, circling. Good. Just open up the hips. If it feels better to do this with the feet here, you can. And if you're getting tired of sitting, you can sit on a blanket or a block to give your hips a little more room. And switching directions. Opening up the pelvis, opening up the low back. Kundalini means energy, and the idea is that you have energy coiled at the base of your spine like a snake. So when you do exercises like this, you're stirring up that coil and waking up that snake, and you're moving that energy up through the spine. This is a good one to do if you wake up really fatigued in either first or third trimester. This is a nice one to get you going in the morning. Good. Release that, taking your hands back behind you. Just open out your legs to the side. And it's up to you how wide you go. Don't feel the need to impress anybody. And you're gonna let your weight come just a little bit back, and you're gonna lift your legs one at a time with a flexed foot, just like you are lifting a little shelf. So the legs will feel heavy. They're not, I promise. They're not 300 pounds each, they just feel that way. And you're isolating this little muscle right on the top of the leg, lifting the whole weight of the leg. So that's why it feels difficult. If you need to, you can come a little further back to support. Good. And now stopping in the center, find those sit bones again. You're going to inhale up through the center, exhale over to one side. Doesn't matter which one you start with. And inhale up again and come over to the other side. Inhaling each time through the center, exhaling each time as you come down. So this is called the life nerve stretch. It again is working with that base of the spine. Good. And let your feet be gently flexed but not tense. And you can start to move a little quicker if that feels good to you. Waking up the hamstrings, waking up the low back. And when you're ready, drawing the arm up and over and just stretching over. If baby's a little more prominent, take it a little more to the side. If you're in the earlier trimesters, you can come a little more forward. Good. Keep breathing, use that breath. So breath is one of the best tools for labor and childbirth, and getting used to breathing into the unknown. So when we do an exercise you've never done before, our tendency is to cut off our breath, and the goal is to actually breathe into the unknown so you get into that habit, and when you face your labor, which will be for most of you unknown territory, your breath will follow you and guide you and support you into that journey. Good. Just a few more here. Excellent. And bring your feet together for cobbler pose. You can open up your feet like you're reading a book and just let the knees bounce. Most of the time we don't bounce in yoga, but this is one pose where it actually feels good. Just opening up. All right, we're gonna come sitting into rock pose. So with rock pose, you can sit on your heels like this. If you want to, you can also sit on a block, or you can place a blanket in between your heels and your hips, so to create a little more space. Hands on your knees. You're going to inhale, open up the chest, exhale back. So this is that same spinal flexion we were doing with the breath, only now we're actually getting the pelvis involved. So tipping the pelvis forward and back below your baby's home. Good. And remember, yoga is too serious to be serious about. So if you notice that your expression is very serious, just put a gentle smile on your face. It's a good trick to tell the body this is no big deal. It's easy. Good. Following your breath. And again, if it feels better to move a little quicker, you can start to speed up that movement. We're bringing breath and synovial fluid into the joints of the spine. So waking up the spine slowly. Always good to start your yoga with gentle motions so the spine is ready when we challenge it more. Good. Pausing here, we're going to get our straps. Taking the strap at a comfortable distance so that when you reach back, the elbows do not buckle. So just adjust to where you can easily stretch up and back. Your inhale is coming up. Your exhale is coming back. Good. And we'll just start here. This is an excellent pose for getting you ready for breastfeeding and cradling your baby in front of you. You will spend a lot of time in the early weeks of motherhood like this, so you want to open up. It's also good for helping support the weight, both of the baby and the girls who get a little bit bigger in the pregnant journey. So sometimes we have a tendency to cave over to support that weight of the breasts. So letting everything be open. We're now going to inch the hands a little closer on the strap. So just bringing them a little bit closer. And you'll start to feel a little more discomfort in the shoulders. So just work with that. You never want to work to the point of pain. You always want to just work to that nice, juicy sensation of opening and change. Good. Flowing with that breath. Now getting the hands as close as you can to where the elbows would start to resist a little bit, and just hold there. So really opening that chest. Be with that little bit of discomfort. Let the heart open. The heart by the end of pregnancy will support 150% of your normal blood volume, and it doesn't get any bigger, so it's just working harder. So we want to imagine energetically it's getting bigger and bigger, opening up to all that blood and all that new love that's coming your way. Taking one arm up, one arm down now, stretching. So one arm just stretches straight up, the other goes back, behind, and then we switch. Good. Easy breath, up and back. Good work. And feel that strength in the arms, sending your energy up through the top arm and down through the bottom arm, so you really make this pose dynamic, not passive. Really stretch and reach. Good. And now releasing that, just place the strap to the side. We won't need it for a while. And we're gonna come onto the hands and knees. So I'll turn sideways so you can see me. Knees right under the hips. If you need a blanket, please place a blanket under your knees for extra padding. The head and neck stay long and loose. Hands are right under the shoulders. Hips are right over the knees. So a little table. Find that neutral position. And right from here, notice if baby is tending to sink you down, and just neutralize that spine. So draw and hold your baby closer to your back. And now we're going to stretch up into cat. So you're letting your body stretch up and back. And then cow, let your belly sink, and lastly, look up. Once again, cat, stretching, drawing the tummy in gently, and then cow, letting the belly sink, moving through the spine, and looking up. Your exhale is cat. Your inhale is cow. Good. And you want to get used to doing these a lot. Pelvic tilts are one of the best ways to position baby so that their spine is to your spine. Continue. So cat and cow helps really optimize the position for baby, bringing that heaviest part of baby, which is their back, to your tummy. You can also talk to your baby throughout your pregnancy. Say head down, back to mama's tummy, chin tucked, hands on your heart. Get that great birth position. So coming back into the cat and cow now. On your next stretch, we're going to walk our cat. So we're going to take the right arm forward, left leg back, and flex that back heel. Making sure again that this hand stays right under the shoulder and this knee right under the hip. And then moving to the other side. Make sure again that you're not sinking through the tummy, so there's a tendency to let baby just sink. So draw the tummy in. Good. And just moving easily back and forth. Inflate the breath up through your kidneys. Open up Neutralize the back. This next pose is extra credit. If you want to do this, you're going to hold, reach around, grab the inside of the foot, and stretch up. Use this as a way to open the spine and open the low tummy. Other side. If that feels like too much, just continue walking the cat back and forth. Reaching around for the inside arch of your foot, kick and reach up. If it feels good, you can also look up. Let the shoulder blade open. And release. And this time just open out the knees. We'll come to everyone's favorite pose, child's pose. Good, so stay in child's pose. I'm going to come up on the elbows, but you can just stay down with your forehead down. And we're going to start to work the Kegels. So Kegel muscles are those internal muscles, pelvic floor muscles. Pubococcygeal muscle, it's also the muscle that cuts off your stream of urine. So you want to feel in this posture, laying down in child's, you want to pull the Kegels in to the count of 5 and then release them. So it's not something I can demonstrate visually, so just do your best. Pulling in and up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Soften, relax, and breathe. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeezing that Kegel muscle. And release. One more time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. And release. Stretching your arms over to the right now. And in this position, I want you to squeeze and release the Kegel as quickly as you can. So just squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. You can do these exercises anywhere. In the car, every time before you have a meal, put a Post-it on your bathroom mirror, everywhere you can think of. You want to be doing 100 Kegels a day. So you can do them in business meetings. No one will ever know. Good, and from here, stretch over to the left. Opening up the side body. And I want you to squeeze and hold the Kegel as long as you possibly can. When you need to, release, but come right back, working on the endurance of this muscle. So Kegel exercises tone the pelvic floor. They help with bladder control later, and they also help with pushing your baby out when it comes time. Good, and gently release. Good, that is our warm-up. Now we're going to move into some squats. Marissa is going to show a modified squat. If your heels don't touch down easily, like mine are doing here, you want to just place a blanket under your heels to create a little more space. Just make as wide a squat as you can. Good. And holding here. So squatting again is one of the best things we can do. It opens the pelvis 25% wider. It's a great position for giving birth, but only if you can sustain it. So if you're really uncomfortable in a squat, you're not going to use it in your labor. So let's get ourselves as comfortable as we can in this position. We're going to take our hands forward, weight comes forward, inhale, reach around and up, lifting up, big inhale breath, and then exhale all the way back down. Good. Inhale, reach around and up, Let the feet widen out a little bit. In a perfect world, your feet would actually angle straight forward, but for most pregnant women, that's not going to be comfortable. Using the weight and imagining that someone has a string pulling up and keeping your spine perfectly straight. Good. That's it. And if you're losing your balance in this pose, you can use a wall to help guide you as well. We'll show this from the side so you get a sense of that long spine. So even as I pivot forward, my spine stays nice and long. Reaching up on the inhale, exhaling down. If 3 of these feels like a lot, go ahead and stop there. If you're still feeling good, you want to build to doing about 20 to 40 of these a day. I know I'm giving you a lot of things to do every day. Get busy. We'll do one more, and this time we will stay down in the posture again, pressing the knees open. Just imagining that every part of your body in the pelvis is softening and opening and becoming that passage for baby. So every muscle, joint, and bone that is firm just opens up, creates space, becomes huge and cavernous and open. So there's plenty of room for baby. Good. And last time, gently bring the weight into the hands, come up, and we'll come to standing. Bring your feet together. Toes spread like you're in sand. Finding those feet. We're going to just pause in mountain, placing the hands right at the heart. And just gazing into the horizon, getting a sense of peace, solidness, stability, all the qualities of mountain. Good. And now inhale the arms up. Interlace the fingers. Make sure your shoulders don't come up around your ears, but they stay down, and stretch side to side. Up and over. You may feel the pelvis or the low sacrum joints popping or opening. It's fine. This is called reed pose. Good. And we're going to take this into a pose called eagle. This one's a little fancy. So from here, plant those heels again. Find your feet. You're going to swing your right arm under and around your left. Don't think about it too much. Take the elbows out and away from the body. Come down, sitting back like you're sitting in an imaginary chair. Take the right leg up, over, and around. Good. If you need to keep a little kickstand here, that's just fine. Good. Breathing into it. Soften the shoulders. The reason this pose is called eagle is because when we come out of it, we look like a regal, wide wingspan of an eagle. So inhale, open. Good. And now other side. Left arm under the right. Swing it around. Elbows out and down. Sitting back. Left leg up, over, and around. Good. That's it. One more inhale. Exhale. And this time we'll release. Wide open breath. Exhale, prayer. So now we're going to move into our modified sun salute. So take your feet a little bit wider, hands are in prayer, and we're going to inhale the arms up. So for later trimesters, you'll need a nice wide stance. Drop down, bending the knees, and you're going to hook your big toes with your index and middle fingers. So the middle finger comes in first, and then the toes. Holding on, you're going to inhale, stretch and lengthen through the back as you look forward. Your exhale, you're going to bend the knees, make space for baby, and come back down.
Inhale again, lengthen through the heart, through the spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, lengthen, long spine. Exhale, soften and release. And lastly, release the toes. Inhale, reach around all the way up. And come back to prayer. So if this feels better than the full salutes that we do, you can always replace it with this modified sun salute. Now we're going to come into a full sun salute. I'm going to turn to the side again. Wide stance, hands in mountain. Inhale, reach around and up. Arching back just gently, supporting the spine, not tipping through the belly, and swan dive forward. All the way over, let the head drop. Just shake the head no. And then yes. Opening up the neck. Stepping the right foot back and then the left. We're going to come into plank. And if this feels like too much, just let the knees drop earlier. You're going to start to lower down, let the knees drop, and either come into cat and cow, which Marissa will demonstrate, or come all the way through to upward dog. Gentle upward dog, using the hands, using the back, really supporting baby. And exhale, bringing the weight back onto the knees. Through cat, press back into downward dog. So the hips lift up, the heels reach for the floor, hands push away from the floor, shoulders are long, spine is long, head and neck are relaxed. If your heels don't touch the floor in this posture, it's fine. You can bend the knees slightly, bring the feet a little closer, and then they will usually touch. Good. From here, take your right foot forward, coming into Trikonasana, or triangle pose. If you need a block, please place a block under your right hand. Marissa will show that. Taking the right hand on the right foot or block, stretch the left arm up to the ceiling, and if it feels good and you feel balanced, let your head float also up towards that arm. On your exhale, bring both hands down again. Make sure you can look back at your foot. Make sure the back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Front foot is 90 degrees. Neither leg is hyperextended. Turn the left hip forward and curl your forehead in towards your knee. And for this next variation, almost everyone will be more comfortable with a block. Placing a block under your left hand, place your right hand just on the sacrum. This is the most extreme twist we ever do in prenatal yoga. And if baby really starts running into your leg, just tip it back a little bit and keep your upper body more straight to the ground. Good. Releasing that, moving the block out of your way. Stepping the right foot back through plank, press through the heels, and coming through that vinyasa again, either cat and cow or full upward dog. Making sure that you do not compress right on baby and that you keep your lower legs active. So pressing through the tops of the feet back into downward dog. Find those heels. This time we'll walk the hips out right and left. So bend one knee and stretch. Good. From here, taking your left foot forward now. Left hand on the left foot or on a block. And reach up through the right hand. So with pregnancy brain, your right and left can get confusing. Just make sure you're doing both sides. If you start with the wrong one, just go to the other.
Again, for balance, you can look down towards your hand. For a little more of a challenge, look up towards your upper hand. Keep breathing, breathe into that unknown, breathe into the challenge. Take both hands down. And let that hip, make sure you've got 3 feet distance, 45-degree angle, 90-degree angle. Let the right hip come a little bit forward and curl your forehead into your knee. Last part, placing a block under your right hand, stretching through. Feel that right hip pivot forward. Tendency here is to swing out. We want to pivot that hip forward, making sure again we're not running into somebody. Give them enough space. Later in the pregnancy, they'll let you know if you're squishing them. Good, and release the block back out of the way, dropping your foot back. And this time, let your knees drop and go ahead and take that block and just place it between the thighs. Just gonna practice what plank should feel like. So when we squeeze the thighs together and press back through the heels, that engagement of the core muscles is what plank should always feel like. If it doesn't, good, so come a little bit lower. Good, lower with those hips. We tend to be up here. We want the hips low. And release. That's a good one. Stretching it back. And we're gonna come back into downward dog and move into our warrior series. So drawing the right foot all the way forward first, plant that back heel down. Make sure you've got heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Nice 90-degree bend in the knee. Make sure the knee never goes past the ankle. Lift the arms straight up and around. Pelvis is aiming straight forward. And again, tendency here to let that baby dictate where the spine is. Hold your baby with your back. Tip your pelvis and lift up. Good, and from here out into warrior 2. So I'll show you from the back this time. Relax the shoulders. Nobody up here. Drop the shoulders, open the knee, and let the arms float. Good, and making sure again that the back heel stays down and you're rotating out into the outer edge of the foot. Drop the elbow or forearm to the thigh and stretch up and over. For extra credit, you can drop the hand down without placing weight into the hand. It's totally fine to stay right here. Now dropping both hands down, fold the mat over to give you a little extra padding. We're going to come into a deep lunge. Good. And from here, we're going to just rock back. Flex the front foot and drop forward. So again, this is a way to just start to open the hamstrings. This one that I'm going to show you next is absolutely extra credit posture. You do not have to do this one, but if you want to and it feels like you've got the flexibility, support yourself with your wrists and drop into Hanumanasana. Good. Always worth giving it a little try. Just make sure you're supported in case you can't get all the way back up. And then use the hand to support you and lift up. Good. From here, tuck the toe back under you, unfold your mat, pull yourself back together, and go through the vinyasa. Knees down, rotating through, open the shoulders, engage the thighs, engage the glutes, If you want to look up, and then back, downward dog. We're gonna come straight into warrior on the other side. Left foot all the way forward, hips forward. So you're building that warrior energy now. So that heat starting to build, you need a little more breath. Drop a little bit deeper, make sure the knee never goes past the ankle. Hips are straight forward. Then when we move into warrior two, we rotate the hips out and let the arms float open. Good. Big breath. So warrior is really, really good for handling those stressful moments of pregnancy, finding that rooted wisdom, that mama's instinct when you need it. It's excellent when you have to wait for test results or anything, any of those challenges of pregnancy. Take the elbow down, stretch up, out. You can look up if that feels good, or you can look straight out, or if the balance is tough, you can keep looking down. Make sure that back heel stays down, dropping the arm if you like. Good. Drop both hands down, fold the mat over, and dropping the knee. Good. And we're going to rock back and forth. So hamstrings often need many invitations to join the party. They're very stubborn. So one stretch is not enough. We want to come into it and back out. If you're in your third trimester and you need more room, take your hands to the side. You can create more space for baby that way. Again, baby will tell you if it starts to feel a little compressed. Only if it feels good, support the weight, inch the feet forward, and come into Hanumanasana. Try to keep that front foot flexed, and even in this pose, try not to sink the baby. Hold your baby, support with your knuckles if you need to. And again, just feel the amazing relaxing hormones softening everything in the pelvis. Totally valid to just keep rocking back and forth as well. Good. Bringing it back together. Good way to challenge yourself. And we're going to tuck that toe back under, replace the mat, going back through plank, knees drop, gently up. And this time I'm going to give you the option of downward dog or child's pose if you feel like you need a break. So child's, you just open up, sit back, downward dog, tuck those toes under, and stretch back. Whatever feels good to you. Walk the hips out again, right and left. If you're in child's pose, just really soak up that rest. All right, last part of the flow series. Right foot forward. Good. And you're gonna flex that back heel straight up into the air. Weight on the toes. Hold that position. We're gonna come into crescent. So the arms come up. Again, hold baby with your back. And then from here, on your exhale, take your arms back, interlace the fingers, open up the shoulders, and if it feels good, look up to the ceiling. Good, and then taking your arms into a high diagonal. Totally valid to stay here if you want to. You can reach from here, and if there's a wall there, it can help you out. Right into warrior three, flex the back foot, coming into that long letter T position. Strong standing leg, engaging through the thigh. If you want to take the hands straight forward, you can. And then reach back, stretch through the foot, back to plank. And going through the vinyasa. Good, find that warrior energy. Find that prana.
back into downward dog. Left side, left foot forward, plant the back toes, open that heel, engage and lift through the tummy. So you're really stretching the psoas muscle right here, and inhale the arms up. On your exhale, take it back. Interlace and open, look up. Hold your baby. And then if you want to, either a high diagonal or all the way up. Finding that letter T position. If you want to, also you can use a block to help you stabilize or place a hand on the leg. And gently release, stretch back. And going through the vinyasa. Knees come down. This time, everyone come back into child's pose. Wide stance. And in this position, I want you to do your Kegels once again, but I want you to lift them like an elevator. So you're gonna lift and hold 1 floor, hold a little higher 2, squeeze as hard as you can 3, releasing 2, 1, back to neutral. Let's do that one more time. Pulling in 1, 2, 3, hold as tight as you can, releasing 2, 1, neutral. Really let that forehead rest and continue. Good, and release. Good job, you got through flow. Now we're gonna come to the standing balancing series. We're gonna start with goddess. So take a nice wide stance. If you need to come off your mat, that's just fine. And the more that you drop into your hips, the more work you're gonna have here. So it's up to you, choose your own adventure. Take your arms up, drop into it. And if you wanna take this to that next level, you can lift your heels one by one. Good. Amanda will keep her heels down, Marissa will lift, and I will lift up. Breathe into it, find that power again. Make sure the belly doesn't tip, but that you're holding with your spine. Feel that spine energy. If you feel like your shoulders are going up around your ears, you can also come into cactus arms. Good. And then letting the heels come down. We're gonna stay low, build that endurance, and we're gonna come into elephant. So now this becomes our trunk. The inhale is up, the exhale is down and wide. And the inhale is up. Try to stay nice and low. If you want to modify this posture, the best way is to not go quite as deep. So Marissa will show staying a little higher, while Amanda and I stay nice and low. The thighs will love you for this. Also really good for the low back, which is holding your baby and holding all that extra weight. Good. If this feels okay, you can move a little faster. Good, make sure the knees stay over the ankles. Really drop down into it. Good. And release. Take your hands on your hips and just shake them out. Good work. Bringing yourself back to center. We're gonna come into tree. Marissa will show how you can use the wall to help you, the friendly wall. Coming onto the right foot, you're gonna lift your left heel high into the groin and taking the hands into prayer. So the only place you don't want the knee to land is right at the joint. So keep it higher or lower, hands in prayer. If this feels easy and you're feeling strong and sassy, take the arms up. And you can even spread those branches and look up to the sun. And come back down. Whichever position you're in. And now moving to the other side. So again with pregnancy brain, if you did the other side from me, don't worry. So I'm gonna pull my right
up into the thigh. Placing the hands into prayer. Marissa will show using the wall. And if this feels good, take those arms up, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And if you want to, take the gaze up to the ceiling. And gently come back. Good. Coming back onto the right foot, we're going to lift into half lotus. So lifting up your foot like you're going to hand it to me. Draw the heel into the groin. Let the knee drop like you're trying to bring those two knees together. Take the other hand into half prayer. Good. Floating. So certain tree days, or half lotus, which is a variation, you'll be floating here like it's the easiest thing in the world and you'll just feel regal and amazing. And other tree days you'll be coming in and out of it like you're in a windstorm, and that is fine. Those kind of days you want to practice your patience. How patient can I be with my own practice? Can I fall in and out and make it no big deal? Coming on to the other side now. And you're always going to hold on to this foot. You're not going to let it go because it's more important to soften through here. As you build your flexibility through your shoulder joints, you can switch the grip to reach around, back. You always keep at least one hand on the foot. The other good benefit of tree poses is that they bring your energy down into your feet. And as one of my favorite teachers used to say, your feet don't worry. So get that energy down into your feet. Good. And gently release. From here, we're going to come into some figure eights. So belly dancing originated to help women give birth. So we're gonna do some figure eights. Don't worry if you feel silly. Bend the knees a little bit. You're gonna take your right hip forward, scoop it back, then like a pool cue, hitting the right hip into the left, scoop the left hip forward, and scoop it back like you're drawing a big figure eight. You can start slowly and then start to move a little more fluidly. If you let yourself find your instinctive movements when you are in labor, you will find movements like this. Figure eights and circles. Those are what help bring baby down into the pelvis. They help shift a baby that's position isn't ideal, and they help speed up your labor. So don't take your labor lying down. Get up and move and find those circles. Good. Now we're going to switch directions, scooping the right hip forward, diagonal back. Left hip forward, diagonal back. Just make it wide. Again, imagining those big, juicy hips opening up and creating so much space for baby. It's the 1 year of our life we get to celebrate how big we get. The bigger, the better. Good. And then from here, wide circles. Take that baby on a ride. Very good, you guys. And other direction. By third trimester, you may feel like a ship in the storm in this posture. Just do your best. Good, bend those knees to help you. That's it. Good, and release, shake it out. Last standing pose, this is the best one of them all. We save it for last. You're gonna come into dancer pose. Marissa, again, will use the wall to help show how that can be helpful. And I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see. We're gonna start with the weight on the left foot. Really pull up through the left thigh. So engage that thigh muscle, nice and strong. Pulling up. Then reach around for the inside arch of your right foot with your right hand. Same foot. Stretch the left arm up, high, kick back, reach forward, and gently kick kicking up through the foot until it tips the body forward. So it really is fine to stay here in this posture, and it's also fine to fall over. Again, how patient can you be? So be willing to just stay right here or to come a little lower. And gently release. Coming onto the other side. So right thigh nice and strong. Reach around for the inside arch of your left. Reach up through the right arm. Kicking, reaching, letting the knee drop as you kick forward, reach forward. Good, strong tummy, looking up. I'm going to go a little deeper. Be willing to stay right where you are. And then gently release. Good. Now we're going to the floor. Good work. Now we're going to come into our side core series. So go ahead and lay on your side. You may want a blanket to cushion the lower hip. Doesn't matter which side you start with, just prop the head or let it rest all the way down. Front hand helps stabilize you, and we're going to start with both legs lifting and lowering like a mermaid's tail. Gentle flex in the feet, no tension there. So what we're working here is the side core. Front abdominals are really best to be left alone during pregnancy. We need to let them stretch and make space, and we don't want to increase the separation in the abdominal muscles. But we can work the side core here. We can work and keep this strong to support the back. Good. Now just the upper leg. Keep the lower leg off the ground. It's a little bit awkward. Lifting and lowering. Steady your breath, and now just the lower leg. This one is the funniest feeling one. So if you feel like you can't do it, just slow it down a little bit and do your best. And from here, let the lower leg drop, lift your front knee up, and you're going to pivot to the knee down towards the thigh, and then straight back up. So like you're trying to touch your toe to your thigh, and then your knee to your thigh. Back and forth. This really opens the sacroiliac joint right between the sacrum and the hips. Lifting up and back. Creating space. And then letting the whole leg lift and back down. Gentle flex in that upper foot. And this time hold, reach around, and just get that leg as close as you can. Again, enjoying that relaxin hormone. And release. We're going to switch sides. Make sure to move consciously without using those front abdominals. Switch the legs to the opposite side and come back down. Good. Again, this hand can steady you here. Head can be all the way down or right here. Both legs together, lifting and lowering, engaging. If you place a hand on the side core here, you will feel how firm these muscles are and how hard they're working. And just the upper leg now. Gentle flex in the feet. Good. And just the lower leg. And release. Take the knee up, and you're going to pivot down and back. So pointing the toe, knee towards the thigh, toe towards the thigh. Good. Pointing your feet. Getting that nice extension through the foot. And last part, whole leg comes up and down. Slow, steady breath. And from here, just hold, reach around. This is also, if you bend that lower knee and bend the upper knee, a good birthing position. So a side lying is a great place to deliver your baby. Good, and before we come back up to sitting, we're gonna do a little bit of work on the glutes. Come onto your hands and knees, right through here. We're gonna do some little donkey kicks. So starting with one leg, lift that heel up to the ceiling. Again, shoulders right under your wrists, right under your shoulders, hips right over your knees. Good. Just for endurance, we'll keep that same leg, extend it, and lift and lower. And switch sides. So lifting that heel up like you're just pressing a little nail into the ceiling with your heel. Straight up and back. Good, and then take it straight out. Feel the love. Lifting and lowering that heel. And release. Good. Come sitting up. And this time you're going to probably want that blanket underneath your hips. You can sit in half lotus or just regular cross legs. And we're going to do an exercise called a keep up. So the keep up is for endurance. It's to practice hitting that edge. And we're going to show you 3 different options of keep up. So when you repeat this video, you can choose your options. So we will begin, and I'm going to demonstrate a heart opening exercise. So the thumbs just come into a gentle circle, and I'm going to keep that up. Meanwhile, Marissa is going to show a keep up that demonstrates the releasing anything from your life that you no longer need. So stretching those elbows up behind your head, so your elbows reach past the plane of your ear, just like you're throwing water over your head. Let it be nice and vigorous. And then finally, Amanda's going to show the lymphatic drainage massage for the breast tissue. So this one is also really good for opening up through the lymph nodes right in here. So that nice fast motion. Good. Good. And when you come back to this video, you just choose one. You can join me, you can join Marissa, or you can join Amanda. And now the fun part is that we're going to keep this up. This is a good place to find that strength within. Find that breath. Let the music help you. Let your breath guide you. Keep your shoulders relaxed no matter which one you're doing. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Good. That's it. So for most women, early labor will feel pretty doable. And they'll go, oh, this isn't so bad. I can have a baby like this. And then it's somewhere in active labor or transition, they start to go, this is not fun. And that's the edge we want to find right now, where you go, not so sure about this. So keep it up. Just move through that resistance. Move to that warrior strength. Your mind is way more limited than your body. Your body can do anything. The mind is what starts to shut down. So with this practice, you're pushing into that edge of the mind, and you're getting that sense of how powerful you are. How infinite is your strength, because it is infinite. Good. That's it. Keep going. We are halfway there. Good. And make sure, Marissa, that you're getting those elbows up and over. Keep it up. This is where you need to find that prana, find that strength. So all these motions start out feeling very simple, and then they start to feel like a lot. And that's where you want to just work that edge, find that edge. So if you're doing Marissa's, you want to really keep getting those elbows back. You're tossing what you don't need, just getting rid of it. If you're doing Amanda's, add more energy to get you through. If you're doing mine, those little muscles in your shoulders are going to start really talking to you. But just know how infinite your heart is opening up, how much space you're making. Good. We're getting there. When you're breastfeeding, it's really common to get some mastitis or things clogging through these lymph nodes. So we want to keep them really clear. So that's where Amanda's Keep Up is really helping. We also want to stay really present, so letting go of anything we don't need in our past, where Marissa's helps us. And we just want to keep expanding that heart, expanding that heart. Last 30 seconds now. If you've come down to rest, come back into it. Even if no one's watching you, I can tell. Come back into it. Always end strong. Always end with that feeling that you could do this forever, that it's no big deal. You're going to have your baby. You're going to succeed. You're going to be holding this beautiful, amazing, soft, squishy ball of love in your arms. You're crowning now. Everything is good. You got 10 seconds left. Just keep it up. Even if you've dropped down, drop back up there for the last 3, 2, don't collapse on me now. Hold the arms up like you could do this forever, like it's no big deal. You are infinite. You are powerful. You are a warrior. You are a mother. Good. Let the arms drop down. Good work. Take one arm across, stretching, opening. Other side. Just to give you a little stretch. Very good work. Take the arm back. Big breath. See how quickly you can forget it. So as hard as you worked, forget about it. It's over. Let it go. Last part, stretch the arms back, open the shoulders, look up. Thanking your body for its infinite strength. And release. Good. We're going to move into our cool down and our hip openers. All right, so let's move one leg in, one leg out. If you want to use a strap, Marissa, you want to show how to use a strap on this one? You can use a strap. If you're not using a strap, you can either come forward, and Amanda, why don't you show forward, coming all the way down, or if the baby's a little more present, you can come to the side. And just let your body breathe. Letting all the energy slow down now. Bringing each breath in as a renewing, restoring breath. Knowing that every breath you take, baby gets a nice flood of oxygen. Let's switch to the other side. Drawing that foot in. You can use that strap to just guide you, or you can just reach forward or side. Make sure that the opposite hip stays down, that you don't roll forward, that it really stays down, rooted into the earth. And gently come out. Take both legs out now. Wide as you can. See if you're in a different place than you were in the beginning of class. And then come down. Walking forward. You may have that funny sensation of feeling your belly hit the ground. Good. If it feels good, you can take your hands onto a bolster or into fists and drop down. Slowly breathing, renewing breaths, restoring breaths. The hips are also where we can store old emotions, so be present to whatever emotions come up as you move into these hip openers. And gently press back up. We're going to come into pigeon. So with pigeon, you want your front leg bent and your back leg stretched back. So it's like you're doing the splits. If you want a little extra support, Marissa will show you how to use a blanket. I've got my blanket just giving a little extra padding, but you can actually support the hip with the blanket. Yeah. Right under there. Bending that front leg, ideally baby tucks under the leg like this, and you come forward. Again, you can use a block here to rest the forehead. Or bolster, or your own hands. So we're trying to keep this hip forward, rolling down, and the weight balanced evenly between the front thigh and the back thigh. If you want a little extra credit posture, you can lift up and reach back for your back foot. This is why the pose is called pigeon. You can use that as a shoulder opener. But please be willing to just stay down in it and really let that hip open. And gently release. So we're going to switch which leg is in front, flexing that foot, stretching back through the heel. Find that nice comfy place in between and coming forward. Good. And again, Marissa will show how to use the blanket to give a little extra room in the hips. Also, if you don't have the flexibility to keep this leg at a 90-degree angle, you can tuck it in and bring baby on the outside, but it's not quite as much of a hip opener that way. So ideally, we keep the leg in front of the baby. Good, dropping the head down as much as you can, either onto your fists, or onto a block, or onto your hands. And if you want to take that other variation of pigeon, square your hips forward and one hand at a time, reach back using your foot to guide you and open up the shoulders. Even in this position, trying to keep the belly from collapsing forward, but just draw it into the spine. And release that if you are in it. Coming out. We'll do double pigeon. So double pigeon, you are going to make a little box with your heels and knees. So heel over your knee, other heel under your knee. Make as much of a box as you can here, and again, come forward. Walking forward as much as you can. And if that forward is not very far, Amanda will show just going a little bit. Sometimes that's just plenty. Just go where it feels good. This is a really intense hip opener. Big breaths in and out. Again, connecting emotionally to see if there's anything going on in the body that is triggering any emotional response. Allow your prenatal yoga class to be a place where you can be fully pregnant. So spontaneous bursting into tears is completely allowed. Don't even worry about what it means, where it came from. Just let yourself be that fully changing pregnant woman all the time. Good, you're gonna switch which leg is on top. My students have told me stories, and I have experienced it myself, of crying at the silliest, craziest things, like a sandwich order being forgotten at a sandwich store. So definitely when we get into these hip openers, be open to whatever emotion is there and don't even judge it for a second. This is your space. One more big breath in. On this next exhale, you can use a little sound to just release. Just let everything go. Good, and gently press back up. We're going to come into a gentle twist. So bringing one foot behind you and the other one up and over, keeping your tummy open. You're going to press into that knee with your elbow, So normally in yoga, we twist the opposite direction. In prenatal, we create space for baby. So just opening, each inhale, lifting up, each exhale, twisting gently, using the back hand to support, and go ahead and switch sides. Little can, don't think about it too much. Taking that elbow and opening up. And sometimes as you twist, you'll feel baby twisting with you, giving you a little counter pressure. And release. Lastly, we'll come back to cobbler. So again, opening those feet like you're opening a book. You can give yourself a little foot massage. Massage is one of the best things you can do for your body during pregnancy. Have your partner rub your feet. Get regular body work. You're doing a lot when you're building a baby. Come forward. You need that support. Good, and gently release. Coming up. Come sitting comfortably. We're going to move into our meditation and Shavasana section now. So the first meditation we're going to do all together, and this is for emotional balance, and it does include a small chant. If you're uncomfortable chanting, just listen. If you feel like you want to give it a try, go ahead and give it a try. Chanting is that internal yoga, nad yoga, the yoga of sound. And it is one of the best things you can do for your baby as well, because remember, they can hear you. So this is called the Satanama. And the fingers will go into a mudra. So you're going to press your index finger into your thumb, then your middle finger, then your ring finger, and then your pinky. And you're going to do this as you say the sound sa, ta, na, ma. Sat Nam means I am truth, so this is just breaking it up into 4 sounds. And we'll just do it for a minute or so. It's a really good emotional balancer, which is, of course, what we need when we're pregnant. So taking a nice inhale. What I'll do is 2 cycles of the Satanama, and then we'll take a deep breath. And really press into those fingers like you'd make your knuckles white, okay? So nice deep breath in. Satanama, Satanama. Take a breath. Satanama, Satanama. Again. Satanama, Satanama. Satanama, Satanama. Satanama, Satanama. Satanama, Satanama. Last one. Satanama, Satanama. Good. And if you want to continue this meditation on your own at any time, you can. It feels really good. We're now going to give you 3 different options to do a silent meditation, and you can continue to hear the Satanama or Satnam on your inhale and exhale while you do the meditation. It can feel really good. So the one that I'm going to show is meditation to remove fear of the future. It's always a good thing. You're going to take your left hand, cradle it with your right, like so. Take your left thumb across the right thumb like you're making a little X, and then place that little X right into your chest. And you just close your eyes, and what you're doing in this meditation is cradling your own inner feminine with your own masculine energy. That more linear, more logical side is cradling that more instinctive, more emotional side. So that is meditation to remove fear of the future. Marissa will be showing meditation to remove the mask. So this one, you're placing your palms together, pinkies and thumbs together, and you make a big shell. And you just gaze downward into that shell and let the eyes close. So meditation to remove the mask is the idea of shedding all those old identities, who we were before we became a mother. And that change can be drastic, it can be scary. So this meditation just supports letting go of that, coming into the now. And lastly, Amanda will show meditation to know that you are enough just as you are. So the left hand is just above the heart, about 6 inches. Right arm just floats out to receive. And this meditation just lets you know you are just perfect right as you are right now. So when you are doing this video at home, just choose whichever one is speaking to you today. You can also always just place your hands on your baby's home and connect with your baby if that's what you need to do. Or if you're feeling more fatigued, just rest your hands and be renewed in that resting posture. So again, I will show the meditation to remove fear of the future. And we'll just take a little bit of time silently, letting the breath rise and fall. Finding that quiet place within. Finding that place that knows exactly what your baby needs at all times. Whether that's where to give birth or with whom to give birth, which vaccinations to choose, what foods to eat while you're pregnant. Find that inner knowing. Find that mother within that already knows everything you need to know about your baby. You are the expert on your baby. No opinions come before yours. Keep your shoulders soft. Let your hips soften and open as you sit. If you need more support, you can sit on a number of blankets. Good, and when you're ready, you can move from this position to Shavasana. Shavasana means relaxation pose, and that's the pose where you integrate all this great yoga that we've done, and you soften and relax and let that work soak into your body. If the meditation feels good, you can stay in that meditative posture for longer. Whenever you're ready, move into Shavasana. If you're before 20 weeks, you can still lay on your back. And we'll show some bolstering options. If you're after 20 weeks, best to lay on your side. You can use blankets, you can use bolsters, whatever you need to be comfortable. So Marissa is showing this variation where she's got a blanket between the legs. Really nice way to just open up the pelvis through here. Also, if you happen to have someone at home while you're doing this practice, Shavasana is a really nice time to have them place hands on you and help you relax through the spine. So a little gentle massage is always a nice reward after your hard work of yoga. Also just feeling length in the spine from the sacrum all the way up to the base of the skull. Good. And this variation can be used in any trimester. Amanda is showing a variation with cobbler pose. You can also have someone place pressure on your feet in this posture. So she's just letting the hips open. If this opening is too much, you can place a blanket or two under the knees to just create a little more space. Good, so Shavasana, just letting everything melt. Whatever position is comfy for you. You can also place a hand on the belly to connect in with baby. Good, slowing down your breath. Easy breath now. There's no right or wrong way to do Shavasana. You just want to let everything go. Good. And in these last moments of Shavasana, just breathe into that place where you know that your birth is already taken care of, that everything is written, and that you and your baby have a divine destiny together, that you are creating as a team, moment by moment, breath by breath. And that this baby has come to help you become the person you're going to be as a mother. They don't expect you to be that right now. They're going to help you get there. Minute by minute, breath by breath. Good. If you set an intention for your class, you can revisit that now. See how that went for you. If you've totally forgotten about it, that's okay too. And slowly, slowly now, when you're ready, start to rotate your wrists and your feet in small circles. Start to open your neck a little bit. Good. If you're on your back or in that bolstered position, just come to your side so you just have a moment of that nice, relaxed side position. And then when you've had enough of that, gently with your hands lift yourself up to sitting. Again, you can sit on a blanket. You can come into half lotus, or if you're feeling excited, you can come into full lotus. Placing the hands into either Gyan Mudra on your knees, or just placing them on your baby's home. We're going to finish up with the Long Time Sunshine song. This one's in English, so it's a little easier. And this we offer just as a blessing to you and your baby on this journey. We'll go through it 2 times. The second time, just offer it to someone that you think needs to hear this song today. So take a nice deep breath in. The words are, may the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. And we will begin. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. This time give it away. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Good. Taking your hands into prayer, we end with one long Sat Nam. It means I am truth. Sat Nam. Thank you so much for practicing with us. Namaste. It's my deep honor to have shared this time with you. Congratulations on becoming a mother. You're in for the most exciting year and years of your life. Namaste.